Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to decode a piece of technology that's actually older than the internet itself, but it's the invisible engine that's powering your smartphone, your laptop, even your car right now. We are talking about the C programming language, the unsung hero of our digital world. Okay, so to really get why C is such a big deal, we have to go back to square one and understand this really fundamental puzzle that the first computer pioneers had to solve. I mean, really think about it. A computer, at its very core, is just a bunch of switches that are either on or off. That's it. It speaks in ones and zeros, what we call binary. For the machine, it's super simple, but for us, it looks like total chaos. So the question is, how on earth do you translate our big, complex ideas into that simple, kind of alien language? Well, the brilliant solution to that problem is the programming language. You can think of it like a bridge, or maybe a better word is a translator. It lets us write out our instructions in a structured way that can, eventually, be broken down into the simple ones and zeros that a computer actually gets. But here's the thing. Not all of these bridges are built the same way. Programming languages exist on this whole spectrum, from ones that sound almost exactly like the machine, to ones that sound a lot more like you and me. So, at one extreme end, right down on the bare metal, you've got machine language. This is the computer's native tongue. It is ridiculously fast, and it gives you total control. But trying to write a program in pure ones and zeros, it's an absolute nightmare. It's pretty much impossible for a person to read. Okay, so take one small step up from that, and you've got assembly. It's a little bit friendlier. It uses these short words called mnemonics, like add for addition, instead of just a string of numbers. But it's still super, super detailed, and it's tied directly to the specific kind of computer you're working on. Then, way over on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you have high-level languages. Think of things like Python or JavaScript. These are designed to feel intuitive for people. They use words and structures that feel familiar. And, this is key, they hide all the messy, complicated hardware details from you. So you can see the problem, right? This creates this huge trade-off for programmers. Do you go low level to get that incredible speed and direct control over the hardware, even though it's a pain to write and your code is basically stuck on one type of machine? Or do you go high level, where it's way easier to write and your code can run anywhere, but you have to sacrifice that raw performance? For a long time, that was the tough choice you had to make. And it's right in the middle of this dilemma that our hero, the C language, shows up. It was developed at Bell Labs back in the early 1970s, and it was this really radical idea to try and break that trade-off, to give programmers the best of both worlds. The genius of C was that it was a middle-level language. It had the clean, organized feeling of a high-level language, which made your code so much easier to write and read. But, and this is the crucial part, it also gave you these low-level superpowers, like being able to directly manage the computer's memory. This mix of convenience and control meant your code was fast, efficient, and powerful enough to build an entire operating system from the ground up, which is exactly what the creators of C went on to do. And this, right here, perfectly shows C's unique spot in the universe. You know, a language like Python is all about being easy for humans to read. Assembly is all about speaking the processor's language. But C is the perfect interpreter, sitting right there in the middle. It really is the ultimate bridge between what we want to do and what the machine can do. So, C found this perfect sweet spot. But how did that one elegant idea, this single middle-level language, go on to build, well, pretty much the entire digital world we live in today? First off, let's just talk about staying power. You know, in the tech world, something new can be obsolete in like a year and a half. 50 years? That is an eternity. And yet C, which was created way back in 1972, isn't just surviving, it's thriving. I mean, you can see its DNA everywhere. The core ideas, the syntax of C became the blueprint for so many of the most dominant languages we use today. You're talking about massive applications built with C++, the Android apps running on Java, the entire Windows world built with C#. They all trace their family tree right back to C. But this isn't just some history lesson. The kernel, the absolute core of the operating system on your computer or your phone right now, whether it's Windows, macOS, Linux, or Android, it's written mostly in C. It is the literal bedrock that your entire digital life is built on. Are you into video games? Well, the high-performance game engines that create those incredible, fast-paced worlds, they rely on the speed and the direct hardware control that you can only really get from C and its direct descendant, C++. You just need that raw power to push millions of polygons around every single second. And this influence goes way beyond our screens and into the real world. From that tiny little processor in your smartwatch or smart thermostat to the really complex computer systems running your car, C is the language of choice. Why? Because it's so efficient, it can run on tiny, low-power devices, making it the silent backbone of the whole Internet of Things. So the big takeaway here is pretty clear. While all the new, user-friendly languages get the headlines, C is still the powerful, super efficient, and mostly unseen foundation of our modern world. That perfect balance of power and simplicity was revolutionary 50 years ago, and its legacy is the reason our technology works the way it does. Which kind of leaves us with one final thought. In a world that's so focused on easy apps and AI, what's the future for a language that asks so much skill from its programmers, but gives them so much raw power in return?